and welcome to Loose Women. Joining me, Christine Lampard, for the next hour of chat and laughs are Colleen Nolan, Linda Robson and Denise Welsh. Coming up, 90s it girl turned soap actress Patsy Kensit joins us at 1:15 to talk about the devastating effects menopause has had on her and share some of her showbiz stories. And do you ever feel guilty for being a bad friend? Well, you're not alone. We'll be trying to relieve some of that a little bit later on. And we've got a real treat for you at 1 o'clock.
Smelly cat, what are they feeding you?
Oh, no, sadly not a live concert from Denise, but a very special report from La La Land from our very own Hollywood correspondent, Denise Welsh. She's going to be chatting to some Brits who made it big across the pond in the latest in our Denise in LA series. That was quite a trip, wasn't it?
Quite a trip.
Yes.
I loved it.
Now, it becomes a trend on social media site TikTok for people to film themselves befriending the foxes that come into their gardens. But is it a good idea? Ultimately, are foxes our friends? Oh, goodness. Or are they our foes? I mean, that's cute.
Not for me.
Well, if you look at that, it's not harming them, is it? I mean, it's so bizarre we're having this conversation because only this morning my sister sent me a video of a fox going across her front garden and they were talking about it for ages. She was saying it's so cute. I saw the cubs last week. My other sister was saying, oh, no, I hate them. I don't have a problem with them. You know, if I see a fox in my garden, I'm always like, oh, there's a fox. But I don't try and befriend it and I don't leave food out for it. Yeah, and I just don't. I think they're cute and they're wildlife and we're always screaming how we're killing off wildlife, you know. And I know that if there was farmers watching, they'll be going, oh, they don't ruin your livelihood and all of that. But, you know, you've taken over the territory, so what do you expect? And they have to survive and they're going to hunt for food, which is what happens very much in the suburban areas that we live, where I know there are a lot of foxes and people are annoyed at them. And, you know, it's when people go, well, it's ragging my bins every day. And I want to go, well, you've left your bins out. It's a fox. It's looking for food. It's gonna rag your bins.
Yeah,
you know?
it's gonna have a rummage.
Yeah.
Do you leave food out, Denise?
I don't. I mean, at the risk of incurring the wrath, of animal lovers. I am an animal lover. I've owned animals. I love animals, but foxes are vermin. I see lovely little foxes playing. Jane Fallon, our friend of the show, author, her and Ricky Gervais, do almost a series on Instagram about the little foxes in their garden. And I can appreciate that. But years ago, actually, I told the story on this show. We'd got home many years ago. I think I was just with Lincoln, and we had a dog called Pip. Pip was the most lovely, gorgeous dog. Colleen will vouch for my lovely Pip. Anyway, this fox had got into the kitchen and attacked Pip. Pip was terrified, shaking, frothing at the mouth. The fox had gone behind the fridge because they can get into tiny spaces like rats and mice can,
So the fox
squirrels.
was terrified equally behind the fridge?
The fox had got into our house and frightened Pip, a domestic animal in the house that Pip was meant to live in, and the fox wasn't. The fox had run behind the thing. You know, Lincoln had called the pest control people and they destroyed the fox. Pip was lying, frothing at the mouth, terrified. Now, I told that story on Loose Women, just in a what have you done, what's happened? And I cannot believe the insults and the abuse that I got on social media from people saying a fox would never go into your home and terrorize a domestic animal. That doesn't happen. Literally a week later, there was a story about an urban fox who'd gone into a baby, and I can't remember if the baby died, but certainly caused a lot of trouble. It does happen. So no, I'm not a lover of foxes. They're absolutely fine at a distance, but I don't think that they should be encouraged to become any more domestic.
But I guess that the people that were having a bit of a moan to you would have maybe suggested just take the fox out of the kitchen and not have it destroyed. I think that's where the line comes between the vermin.
I think if it had just got into the kitchen, it was the fact that Pip was in a really, really, really bad way. So the fox was a danger to my dog, as far as I felt.
Which is unusual, actually, because normally a dog would chase a fox away.
But my dog wouldn't, I have to say.
No,
she's
my
just
dog
such
wouldn't
a little...
She's a puppy, so she's not
exactly.
gonna...
Well, my dogs are bark and they love rolling in fox poo. It's genius every day. 4 times a day I'm showering those dogs. They get more showers than me.
Well, we have our rubbish collected every week, and every night before, without fail, I'll hear a clatter of a bin or a
They'll
lid
pull it
coming
over.
up, and I'll look
Yeah,
out, and there's one at the minute. It's a mummy fox, and there's 2 little cubs. And I have to say, it's a bit like you say. I'm a little bit like, they're hungry. I know there's scraps of food in that bin. They can smell it half a mile away. You know, what's the harm? Having said that, I get up then the next morning, and the mess on the street is awful, and I'm standing there trying to brush it up.
I mean, that is why
can do that.
wildlife, of course. You know, I do understand that, but no.
It's
Linda?
incredible, some of those
I'm a
videos.
bit like Denise. Like, I wouldn't hurt them. I wouldn't get anyone in to kill them or anything. But I've got a puppy now, and we've got a roof terrace, and it's quite high up. And how they manage to get up on my roof terrace, and they poo everywhere, and they knock all the plants over. And now with the puppy, I can't actually leave the doors open of a daytime in case, like, Dolly's outside and they'd attack Dolly and that. And we've got a cat that comes up, and Dolly and the cat play lovely together. They really, really do. But no, same thing with the dustbins. Like, we had a Jubilee party, and so obviously there was a lot of mess in our house. But all the bin bags downstairs, tied them all up properly, got as many in the bin as we can. Some were on top of the bin, and they pulled it to pieces.
Well, I have to say
the
that
whole street was just covered in.
My dogs are the ones that will, if there's a black bag anywhere left outside, they will absolutely rip it to bits, and that's the dogs. And when I've seen foxes in the garden, as soon as they see a light on, or they see me, or they see the dog, they run miles away.
Yeah.
But I had a badger in the garden recently.
Oh, did you?
Yes, massive badger it was. And I was like, oh my God, look at that badger.
You
And,
sure it
I've
wasn't
never
Janet's
seen one.
badger?
I've never, no, it wasn't Janet's badger. I've never seen one and all that. And everyone that I told said, whatever you do, don't let your dogs out, your
No,
cats
they're
out,
quite
anything,
vicious,
and
aren't
don't go near it, because
No.
they are really, really vicious.
Yeah.
But that looked kind of cute.
Yeah. Love it. From afar.
From
They're
afar,
beautiful.
yes.
I agree with that. Now, we are used to seeing these sorts of badges on public transport, alerting passengers to the fact that the wearer is indeed pregnant and perhaps is in need of a seat. But should we have the same for people to wear when they're on their period? Presenter Ashley James, she thinks so. She says, I think we should have PMS badges when we're suffering with period pain. It's quite mad that for a few days every single month, women are just walking around in pain, but having to pretend everything is hunky-dory. What do you think, Denise? Would you wear a badge?
Well, that's a bit. That's also a bit different to saying that you're on your period. That's saying I'm premenstrual.
Yeah.
But to me, it's buying into all. You know, historically with sitcoms and stuff, women who are premenstrual or even menopausal have always been the butt of the jokes. Oh, don't talk to her, it's that time of the month. Now, we're trying to get away from that ridiculous notion.
Yeah.
And this, to me, is just buying back into it. We are luckily now a world where we talk about these things. I don't have daughters, but I've had many conversations with many women and with my kids' girlfriends, and nobody seems to be afraid of talking about it. We know where you can go for help in some instances, but to actually wear a badge saying I'm premenstrual is just basically saying I'm a cranky old cow. Don't, you know, give me a seat on the bus. I just don't. I mean, I'm on my period. Is that a thing? I'd be horrified if I saw it, and I certainly wouldn't stand up for someone on their period.
As soon as I heard about it, I went, oh, for God's sake, we've got badges for everything now. Please stand up, I'm pregnant. Now we've got one, please stand up, I'm premenstrual. Then we'll have one, please stand up, I'm actually on it this week.
Yeah, please,
you know,
stand
and
up, I've got
menopausal, and this,
cystitis.
that, and the other. It's like, please stand up, actually sit down, because I've got piles, so I can't sit down anyway, badge. You know what I mean? It's like, for God's sake,
I think the drawing the line of where the badges stop is potentially the issue.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and you know what? I had the worst. I have to say, although we do the menopause campaign, the best thing that's ever happened to me in that respect is the menopause, because my period stopped, because mine were debilitating.
Yeah.
So anything the menopause is throwing at me is never going to be as bad as what I've gone through since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I was touring, and I was, you know, I remember...
Would you have expected someone to stand on a bus?
No, absolutely not. And it was in those days when you actually didn't even talk about it. You know, when I did Dancing on Ice in 2009, I had to take medication to stop my periods for the whole time I was on it, because I wouldn't have been able to do it. You know, because it went on for like 3 or 4 months. I thought, I won't be able to do it. If it's the night of the show, I won't be able to do it. And I didn't know there was medication, but there was.
You can stop.
But I didn't go
People do
around
it when they're
telling.
going
No
on
one
holiday.
I
else
also don't
knew
know why you
except the
need a
physio.
seat if you've got premenstrual syndrome. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Ashley's argument is that
'Cause
she
she's in
obviously
pain.
suffers, and there can be an awful lot of pain for a lot of women.
Yeah, and I
varying
understand
degrees.
that.
And so, if you're actually in pain and you're kind of silently
Yeah, but what I
suffering,
love now-
would it be nice that someone?
I would
like,
like
but I-
nobody to stand up for
Yeah.
me
because I'm in
pain of any kind.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also I think now what's great is the younger generation, certainly Kira's age and boys of her age, they openly talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, if Kira is like, or her friends, or Maddie, my daughter-in-law, if they're suffering with it, they'll come out and instantly talk about it and tell whoever's in the kitchen.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
which
as you say,
is
it's
great.
so different.
It's so different. So they are more open about it, but I don't think any of them would wear a badge or expect somebody to stand
My
up.
sons would always stand up for anybody anyway that maybe looked like they were slightly distressed or they were in discomfort. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how they've been brought up to do that anyway. I don't think they need a badge.
Well, having said that, I have friends who have been pregnant and worn the pregnancy badge, and no one's offered them a seat,
No
and
one's stood up
they're
for
quite clearly heavily pregnant and a badge. So you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get what you want on the.
I mean,
the bus
now
anyway,
it's 64.
because
Maybe we should wear an I'm on my period badge and people will stand up for us on the train. What do you
There's
think?
no chance of
You're a
us two being
miracle.
on our periods.
Or me.
but we might get a seat.
No, yeah.
Would you stand up for someone that's
I
wearing
would
a badge
stand
of
up.
some
I
description?
would, yeah, I would. If someone was pregnant or if someone looked like they was
Yeah,
in pain
yeah.
or an elderly person. But a lot of the time they get the hump with you if you stand up and say, would you
Yes,
like to
yeah.
stand? If someone said it to me, I go, no, I'm fine. I can stand up. I don't need a seat to sit down. I'll be fine standing up.
Yeah.
But I think it's great that people talk about it all the time now and it's openly discussed. Because when I was growing up, all our things, Lillettes, tampons, sanitary towels, were all hid away in the bathroom cupboard. No one ever spoke about it or anything.
really? Yeah.
My mum would just replace them every week for us.
Yeah, and it was
But,
sort of this thing that happened behind.
Yeah,
the back
you'd be
closed
mortified.
Like a
door.
secret,
Anyone
weren't
seeing
it?
it, you'd be mortified.
But then at school, I remember it sort of being a bit of a buzz chat where, you know, if someone had their period, it was like, oh my gosh,
We
like, it
couldn't
was like
wait
she
to start.
started.
But we couldn't wait to
started.
start our periods because we
Yeah,
thought,
we
how come
couldn't.
everyone else has got their periods and we haven't? And I'm 14. Or whatever.
Yes, there's always an age thing. I mean, you're 15 and it
Yeah.
still hasn't been. Yes, I know exactly. And then it happens, and then you spend
Oh,
the rest of your life 2 years going, oh my
Stop,
goodness,
Please, I just
give
want
me
it
a
to
badge.
end. Yeah.
Oh dear. We're going to be catching up with Patsy Kensit a little bit later on, and after the break. Are you the friend who always remembers birthdays and sports days and anniversaries, or are you the one who forgets to even call back? We are talking friendship guilt coming up after this. Hello there, welcome back. We're going to be hearing all about Denise's exploits in Tinseltown in about 15 minutes, including this candid confession.
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, he really is. He is so professional.
He's my hall pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I've gone. It's not me.
No, it's not Ross, sadly. Lots more of that a little bit later on. And Patsy Kensit will be here at 1:15, sharing some showbiz stories from the 90s. She's got lots as well.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I bet we won't hear them all though.
True. Competition time now, though. Here's all the details.
Winning the prize has absolutely changed my life. Once the money hit the bank, it was like, oh my God, I'm rich.
You could soon find out for yourself, as we're giving you the chance to win a massive cash prize of £50,000 courtesy of Megabus, plus this gadget tech bundle. Wonder how it would feel?
You have won £75,000, a Mercedes, and a Universal Orlando holiday. So congratulations.
That is amazing.
Do you remember entering that one?
I do. I do.
Congratulations. Shots.
Wow.
One entry and you could bag £50,000 and that amazing tech bundle. So get entering now. Text prize to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 78 119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge, or post your name and phone number to DY34 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday, the 26th of August at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now, Bond girl Jane Seymour has made the controversial claim that you only need one really good friend. One friend. Is that enough? Linda?
Well,
you have loads of friends.
I've got loads of friends, yeah, but I'd say like 3 really, really good friends, or maybe 4 really good friends, and then I've got my 2 sisters as well. But my really good friends are obviously Leslie and Pauline, because we've spent so many years together, like 40, 50 years, me and Pauline have been best friends for, and Leslie, obviously, for the same amount of time. And I've got a friend, Lynn Gammon, who I've known. So her partner, Jeff, and my husband were friends. And so I'm sort of in touch with her. She does my hair. She does practically everyone's hair on the show now as well, Lynn Gammon. And then my sisters, I'm really, really close to my sisters.
Yeah.
But I think real good friends are like, sometimes if you're really busy, like if we're away working or away filming or whatever, and then they're texting and you're not answering straight away, they don't realise that you're on set or you're in makeup or you can't talk at that minute. But the really good friends understand that, especially if they're in the business. If they're in the business, they know that you can't actually answer the phone straight away and that. But yeah, no, I love my friends.
Yeah, and I think you know, I've got a friend that sometimes. I mean, there was one time during lockdown and stuff. I saw her recently, about a week before Shane's wedding, and then again at the wedding, and I hadn't seen her for 3 years.
Yeah,
and we'd text a couple of times, but we didn't pick up the phone. But when you see them, it's like you were never apart.
Yeah.
It instantly goes.
Yeah.
You're like,
there's just a connection, and always
there's
will
just
be.
a connection. Yeah, there's not that awkwardness. I think you can. You know, I've got maybe 3 or 4 that I think will be lifelong friends. Whatever happens, they will be always in my life, some part of my life. Not every day, you know, talking on the phone or anything, but just they've been there. But I think you can have one. You know, I think it's okay to have one friend, and also you know, I've got a big family, so. But I think friends are different to family in that respect.
So you tell your close friends maybe more because
yeah, I think I tell them more just because I didn't either want to worry my family, or I didn't want my family to judge someone who I was talking about, because, you know, if I ended up being back with that person, they'd probably hate them still. Whereas your friends love and hate whoever you love and hate at the time. And I do think that during lockdown we became very aware of people on their own who didn't have people to talk to. And I think everyone made more of an effort, because we did, you know, we had the Zoom calls and, you know, WhatsApp calls, all of those things we did, you know, checking up on people. And now we've all gone back to real life. I think there's still going to be a lot of people at home that maybe just need a text or a phone call to ask them if they're all right. On the other hand, out of all my friends, I'm probably the worst one, because I hate talking on the phone.
So
I hate it.
I've got code names.
Oh, do
for
you?
certain people that I don't want to speak to, so it'll come
dear.
up Janet Pain in the bum or whatever. So I know.
Why
I know
did you
not
say
to
Janet?
not our Janet?
Not
Janet
Janet.
Street Porter, but like certain names on there that I know if I don't want to speak to them, I don't answer that phone.
Yeah.
I know. I've got a friend that always goes, "Hi, just calling up for a chat. Nothing really important. Phone me when you can." So then a month later, I'll phone her and she'll go, "You didn't phone me back." And I always go, "Well, you didn't say it was. You said it was not important. So why would I phone you back?" So I'm like,
so do you suffer from guilt though?
terrible guilt. I do have guilt.
So then why do you not change your ways?
Because we can't be bothered.
I'm talking to you as if I'm talking to myself.
No, I tell you why. Because the job that we all do is talking. So when I get home, I don't want to talk for hours on the phone. I've nothing to say, really.
You're talked out.
I've literally, you know, I'm done when I leave here.
And also, they don't want to talk to us.
When I get home.
They've heard us waffling on like we do.
But
They've
I will text all day.
Yeah.
I'll text all day.
Yeah.
Because
Or
I can
voice
text
notes.
while I'm doing something. When I get home, I'm busy. I haven't got time to... And I don't care.
That's the thing there. It's the level of care.
Hands up,
It's the
guys.
level of guilt.
Hands up, friends, unless it's something super, super important. I don't care.
They're all sitting at home now going, I'm never phoning her again.
She
I
will,
know,
because
I
they'll
know.
all
sit there.
Well, you know what
Thing.
they'll be doing? They'll be sitting at home going, "That is so truthful."
Yeah.
Because they know me so well.
They know you so well.
So well.
But everybody, you know, I mean, I echo everything that everybody has said. I am very fortunate to have probably half a dozen ride or dies. And I think the pandemic minimized our life as well, that we realized the people that we really wanted to spend time with, and those that we, you know, when I used to drink, I was surrounded by friends. They weren't friends at all. So I made a big cull, obviously, you know. And also, it sounds really corny, but I'm married to my best friend, so I'm very content with Lincoln. But I love my friends. They're used to me. It's not an excuse, but I try to immediately get back to a text. I don't like chatting on the phone. I'm not a FaceTimer, you know, particularly with that. But I do have friends who I'm embarrassed that I'm so hopeless because they remember every birthday. They remember every one of my kids' birthdays. They remember Lincoln's birthdays. Unless I go on FaceTime, which I don't a lot, and I see it's such and such's birthday today, I don't know. I don't have any record
But
of birthdays.
equally, you're a good friend. I mean, if
think
any
I'm a
of
good
my
friend
friends
in many ways.
phoned me, whatever time of day or night, and they were in trouble or they were
I'd be
just
there.
so upset, I'd spend hours on the phone to
Of
them.
course.
But
Yeah.
I just mean as far as sometimes chit-chat.
Yeah.
I think I ain't got time for chit-chat, really.
Well, I've got worse, and I was never brilliant in the first. But I wouldn't even have a phone if it wasn't for the fact that I need it in case there's an emergency. It's really, honestly, the only reason I would
More for
pick
the
it up.
kids and that, yeah.
Exactly. And now that the children are here, I'm forever picking the phone up, and I'll start maybe writing a message or about to send, and then one of them will
And
try
then
and grab the
something
phone off
happens.
me, or it's Mommy, I've done a whatever in my nappy, and you
that's
run off
just
to
Frank.
do this, and that's Frank. I mean, like, my hands are just tied all the time.
What I'm
so I've
trying
got
to
the
do
point where
now-
I find it almost impossible to keep at the
Yeah, it
same
is.
level
I'm
as
trying
everybody
to do
else.
now what we actually talked about very recently, which is trying to put a pencil in the diary. Because if you just say, we must get together, we've said that we're longing to get together and talk about stuff that we never talk about here. But let's put a pencil on it, and you make more of an effort if you've got it in the diary somewhere
true.
as a little
Yeah.
pencil, even if you have
But
to
then I'd forget
to
the diary.
cancel.
So.
You forget the diary,
Yeah.
forget the invite,
Yeah,
forget
no, I
us,
think I
forget
don't want to sit
everything.
and chat to you all day.
And she'll just get a rubber and rub it out.
I'll chat to you here.
Yeah.
Well, you're not even invited.
I don't want to come. I don't want to come. I'm busy.
You're not on our group WhatsApp.
I've got foxes to chase.
New foxes and badgers.
You've got beavers badgers to sort out.
I've got my badgers to look after.
Yeah.
Carry on with that then.
Lots more to come after the break when we find out exactly what Denise got up to stateside with her Showbiz pals. Look at her there, just sitting with her famous friends. The Office's Lucy Davis and former EastEnders heartthrob Sean Maguire. Loads to come. We'll see you after this.
Tomorrow, I reveal my life before Luce, from growing up in Leighton and being a class clown to my career in social care, and then finding my true voice on the stand-up circuit. The highs and lows of a life filled with love and laughter. Hear my life before Luce tomorrow on Loose Women.
Welcome back to Loose Women. Alongside me, Christine Lampard today. It's Colleen Nolan, Linda Robson and Denise Welsh. Patsy Kensit will be here in around 15 minutes, sharing how she copes with empty nest syndrome now her sons are all grown up. Now, Denise, earlier this year, headed to Hollywood, and while you were there, you undertook some serious investigative reporting. Is that what we're going to call it?
Absolutely. Wait till you see.
We dig deep. Dig deep. Okay, well, let's catch up with what you got up to.
Los Angeles has always been the place where, for many entertainers, the streets are paved with gold. But it is notoriously hard for British stars to make it in Hollywood. I'm going to be meeting 4 of my British mates who have bucked the trend and gone on to make it in Tinseltown. He starred in Grange Hill and EastEnders and indeed had a successful pop career. Today, former teen heartthrob Sean Maguire is more well known in America than he is back home. He's lived in Los Angeles for 22 years. So I am here at the Warner Brothers studio to have a little bit of a natter and find out more. You're still good looking, you're still a heartthrob.
Stop it, just stop it. Now, would you like to have a little look around?
I'd love to.
Come on then.
The Friends Fountain. How long ago was it that you made the decision to come here?
I got an audition for a movie called Spider-Man.
Oh.
To play Spider-Man. And
You got the audition in the UK?
I got the audition in the UK, and I did an okay job, apparently, and they wanted to call me back. And then some other Maguire called Tobey Maguire apparently nabbed the role.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I've never heard of him since. And then there was another movie called The Princess Diaries, where the director Gary Marshall, who made Pretty Woman and all these other Happy Days and all these other things, he took a shine to me and said, "Bring the kid out to Hollywood."
So you come here.
Yeah.
What was your first job, and how exciting was it to get that?
Oh my gosh! Well, the first thing I booked was I booked a movie called Prince Charming, which was for a network called TNT, and it was like a lottery win. I was with Martin Short, Christina Applegate, Billy Crystal,
Wow.
Bernadette Peters, just a phenomenal cast.
What is next here in LA for Sean Maguire?
I've just finished shooting a movie which was shot in Vancouver, because everything shoots in Vancouver.
Yes.
Just a few months ago, the producer of that movie and I are going to do another movie together later this year.
Will you take me now and just buy me a coffee, please?
I certainly will. Come on.
Next, I'm on my way to see Ross King, a.k.a. the nicest man in showbiz, well, according to him, at his home in the Hollywood Hills. When he isn't reporting for Lorraine, and that's okay, Ross is out mingling with the rich and famous after moving to LA from Scotland over 20 years ago, and he's even got an MBE. So, Ross, here we are in your beautiful Hollywood home. What made you make the decision, a big decision, to come and move lock, stock to Hollywood?
To be really, really honest, I was bored. And I know it sounds terrible. And I was doing a musical at Sadler's Wells in the West End in London. And
that's very posh.
I was very terribly posh, too posh for a boy from Glasgow. But I was loving it. But equally, there was just something a bit like, I don't know what it was. And I thought, you know what, I want to do something different. And that's what I did. And I thought I'm just going to take a chance. Came out, a couple of suitcases, and yeah.
We know that you're best friends. Are you still with Jared Butler?
Yeah. He was one of my best men, Gary Barlow. Yeah. So, I mean, I was also lucky as well, like Catherine Zeta-Jones. They were friends of mine.
So many years, so many stars, so many red carpets. You must have your favorite.
People like George Clooney who get it. You know, I always, sometimes I have a question where I say, you know, like to George, I go, so, you know, George, you know, you're married to Amalna, you've got the twins, you know, you're the sexiest man alive twice, but are you happy? You know? And then you can always tell the ones who go, well, you know, and you got other ones who go, that's a really good question. Yeah, you know, happiness.
George gets it though, doesn't he?
He gets it. And I love, and like Julia Roberts, who is quite, you know, she doesn't suffer fools, and I love that as well. People that I think are the most amazing, like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He really is. He is so professional.
He's my hall pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I've gone. It's not me.
Now I've come to Santa Monica to meet a couple of me pals. Former star of The Office, Lucy Davis, and my Waterloo Road co-star, Chris Gere. And tell the Loose Women viewers how we met in the beginning.
I had a chemistry read with a certain Denise Welsh for...
Because I was in it, you know, I'd been in it before. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I'm terribly nervous going into an audition space, as everyone is, and Denise was there, and she was just so funny and so kind of calming that we were able to, like, build a little rapport that Steph and Matt had. And the same thing happened on This Is Us, where they said...
So This Is Us is, if we can just say, is possibly one of the biggest shows in the entire world that you, my friend Chris Gere, randomly is now in.
I still pinch myself. I literally go to work every day and I can't believe that I'm in the same space as these people that I've been watching from the beginning.
The British viewers know you in the UK mostly for The Office. Sure. So take us from then and how you got here.
In 2003, BBC America were going to air The Office, and so they brought us out here. and for like a week or something, and then I got a manager here.
What is the series you're making now?
Oh, now it's a new Disney show called The Villains of Valley View. We've been on this since November.
Your dad is Jasper Carrot, the actual Jasper Carrot, who at 77 years old is on tour. And with my ex-husband, Tim, of course you knew Tim, we used to play on all these golf dues. And Jasper was so much a part of our lives. And he used to talk about little Lucy, and all these years here we are. Yeah. I'm so proud of you. So many actors want to come to America and make it, and for whatever reason they don't. But you guys have, and I couldn't be prouder. Thanks. And I love you both.
Denise, what a trip.
It was, you know. It was just so lovely because people always say, unless you're like a really mega star over there, well, what do they do? What happened to Sean Maguire? What are they doing now? Those are 3 examples. Obviously, we know about Ross, but 3 examples of actors. Jobbing actors making a really good living, having a fantastic life, and have been there for, a long time. Chris obviously has been there for a few years. I mean, he's in the last series of This Is Us, which is the biggest show in television. So over here, you might get, oh, were you 2 in Waterloo Road together? Over there, it's like, Chris, Lucy's been there 20 years. Sean, you heard saying so. It was really lovely to sort of celebrate them. They can't wait, for their family to see this show. So they'll be really excited today. A lot of people don't know what they do out there, but it was lovely. And to see, Ross has got one of my favourite houses in Hollywood.
Lovely.
He really has got a beautiful home, and they live a great life. And I was just really happy to dip in and out,
You're back here now, though, Denise.
I'm back here now. I'm back to reality.
Coming up after the break, we're joined by Patsy Kensit. She's going to be telling us what really happened when she was reunited with Kate Moss on the 90s Jubilee bus, and why she's glad there was absolutely no social media in her 90s heyday. Back with Patsy after this.
On we go.
Hello again. Patsy Kensit joins us in just a few minutes. First, though, competition time. Here's how you can enter.
In the last 12 months, ITV has given away over £7 million in total. Here's a chance to win £50,000 in tax-free cash courtesy of Megabus, plus this amazing tech bundle. Just imagine the thrill of getting that winning phone call.
I've won £50,000 and some tickets to the Rugby Six Nation games as well.
I needed this.
Congratulations.
I've just had a tooth out.
Congratulations.
Well, I've forgotten all about that now.
Oh, good. The little pick-me-up you needed.
Little. It's massive. It's fabulous.
And remember, we have a guaranteed winner for every prize, and this time it could be you. Text prize to 81119. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 78 119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge, or post your name and phone number to DY34 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday, the 26th of August at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now, today's guest has been in the spotlight since she was just 4 years old after appearing in a TV ad for frozen peas before climbing to the top of the showbiz ladder in the 80s and 90s as a pop star, actress, model and it girl. She then became a soap superstar with stints in Emmerdale and Holby City. And today, she joins the Loose Women. Please welcome Patsy Kensit. Hello. Hi, everyone. Patsy, basically, that intro says you've done it all.
Yes, I have, and I love that song. So I'm very proud of it. With the Pet Shop Boys.
Of course,
I did that.
it was.
Yes, a long time ago.
Exactly. When you do look back at all of the incredible stuff you've done, are there those moments that stand out a little bit more? Do you think, are there musical moments that kind of really grab the memory banks, or is
well,
it?
they turned a lot of knobs when I sang, so you know I wasn't always in tune. But this was a great opportunity to work with Neil and Chris, and it was a very big hit all over Europe and States and everything.
Look at that.
Eighth Wonder. Eighth Wonder.
Yeah.
That was right. But yes, so that was fun, and I've been very fortunate, and I have to say this because he's wonderful. My agent David Hahn, who's brilliant, has kept me so busy. Pre, post, during COVID, I've not stopped, and I feel so blessed.
How long have you been with David?
It's going to be about 5 years now.
Yeah.
And he's just amazing.
We love David. He's an old mate to Lincoln.
No, he really just delivers, and has got me indoors that I wouldn't have got into, and I've done a couple of ITV dramas. I've just finished a movie, and I start another film in 2 weeks. Ray Burdis has written and directed.
I know Ray really well. Yeah.
Called Mr. Kiss, and it's a fantastic script and a great part. And I feel really blessed and lucky.
Brilliant. Well, alongside all of the work, Patsy, you've been a really passionate campaigner for the menopause, and we're doing so on the show here as well, and trying to firstly make it that we're talking about it, which I think we're getting better at, but there's still a long way to go. Do you feel that as well, or you're making some sort of headway?
I think there's been an enormous amount of headway, particularly recently, which is great. I mean, I had to have a full hysterectomy in 2013 because I kept getting complex
It was
tumours.
an emergency one as well.
Emergency, and so I was rushed in, and it's like anything. It's like how they prepare you for what they're taking away. It's all going to be gone, and please God, you wake up and you don't have ovarian cancer. But you're also going to be bang smack in the menopause. And nobody told me that. So I was fortunate. I didn't have cancer, but I was immediately thrust into menopause hell. And I thought, I thought I was losing my mind. I went to do the food shop one week, and I went into the supermarket, and I thought, what am I doing here? God. And I left, and I bought a cabbage and a pair of American tan tights, and neither were eaten or worn. And then I stopped driving for years because, and I, passed my test at 17.
Distraction, you'd get distracted.
Oh, I didn't trust my logic.
Yeah.
And I
and
thought
was
I had
still
to
nobody saying to you at that time, have you, maybe it's menopause?
Well, no, because I am, for my luck, unfortunately, I had to go, I had an autobiography coming out, and I had to go and do the sofas, and I had a horrible reaction to an HRT in sort of an implant that I was given, and it all kind of fell apart on live air, and I was accused of not being lucid, and it was
that's what it does to you, the menopause, honestly.
Brain fog,
it really does.
Through, and I said in the interview, listen, I've just had a hysterectomy, and I'm just suffering from menopause, and it was so random, and I was crucified for it. It wouldn't happen now, thank God, and I don't mind. Listen, you know what? You can take a pop at me. I don't care. I'm a big girl. I can look after myself.
That's a lot to take on board, isn't it? When it's an emergency hysterectomy.
Yeah.
You at this, you kind of build up to knowing, obviously we're all going to go through it, but when something happens so quickly that and without any preparation or any discussion with anyone, or your own mind isn't in the place to deal with what your body's doing. So that's an incredibly difficult time for you, and indeed your loved ones around you.
Yeah, I think it was, my sons were incredibly supportive, and people very close to me were, but there were skeptics.
Did they understand, though, your sons, what you were going through?
Yes, they did. And
it's hard, I think, for young boys to
understand. But nobody was talking about it then as much,
nobody was talking about it, not at all.
It's so interesting you saying that, because I've never really... My mum was 39.
Yes.
She had an emergency hysterectomy.
Yeah.
And that's when my mum's issue with drinking started.
Really?
But of course, we didn't relate it to anything now, but she was thrust into menopause, and nobody would have understood anything about what was going on with that.
And there's a stigma to it, and it's something, we prepare, our young ones for puberty, and really the menopause, the change, it's named perfectly because your body is changing again. It's like conscious puberty. It's happening again, but it's all very hush-hush, and you don't talk about it because it makes people uncomfortable. But it's great. People like Mariella Frostrup, who's a very old friend of mine.
We've been talking about it on this show for years.
She's godmother to my eldest son, and I've known her since I was 16.
She's been wonderful.
She's amazing,
and
the book Cracking the Menopause is a great read. And I just feel we did a menopause mandate at the House of Lords, which was great, and the word vulva was said a couple of times.
Wow.
Am I allowed to say that in daytime?
I thought it was a car.
On this show you can,
Yeah. And talking of old mates, you were recently on the Jubilee bus with Kate Moss, Naomi Campbell, all the cool guys. How was that to see them after a while?
Well, it was, it was quite nerve-wracking. And Naomi and I follow each other on Instagram and send DMs and stuff, but I hadn't seen Kate for about 25 years. And I was quite nervous, and I can't tell you, that girl she's so wonderful and so lovely, and you're just drawn to her. She's got something so special that she's just wonderful and made me feel so great and so welcome.
I bet you're glad that the social media wasn't around in those days.
Well, I mean, we got away with a lot.
Yeah. Everyone did, though. Everyone did.
Everybody did, yeah.
Everyone did.
And also you had empty nest syndrome because your boys moved out, didn't they?
Yeah, well, the boys have moved out, and
that's hard, isn't it, when the kids move out?
Linda, this weekend I'll start crying because they're both, it's the summer and one's working, one's going away at the moment, and we normally do Sunday lunch together. I'll either cook or we'll go out, and I'll cry. And they're just not around for a few weeks, and it really hit me at the weekend. And I've got girlfriends, and
of course, they're still your babies, though.
My babies,
age
exactly.
They are,
They'll never be
grown men.
No, and they're such good lads.
Yeah,
I'm really, they work hard. They're good to their girlfriends. They're respectable, and
you still look beautiful.
You
How do you love
do.
life now? Have you got anyone?
Do you know what? I couldn't be bothered.
No,
that's
what all my single friends say now. They couldn't be bothered.
You don't need them, do you?
Do you know what? If I have enough male energy in my life, and I'm happy, so that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'd just rather be with my
But
kids.
Patsy, talking about friends, we were talking friendships earlier. Are you a good friend, or are you a bit of a lazy friend like Colleen? I say that where she just doesn't call back.
No, I'll text you all day. It's just talking.
It can be exhausting. I think probably a couple of my girlfriends would say that I could be unreliable. Yeah. But I have 3 best girlfriends that know me inside out, and they are so great about if we forget each other's birthday or if we have to cancel last minute. And I'm really relaxed about that kind of stuff. But some people really don't like it.
Absolutely.
And it can terminate friendships and get people vendettas and everything. So I've chosen wisely, and we know each other. And there have been relationships that have gone on for years and years. Yeah. And my best girlfriend, don't want to make it a really sad show, but her husband just passed away a month ago. He's a keyboard player in Depeche Mode, and Grania is just incredible. And I'm sending her my love today, and we're all really sad about what happened.
Absolutely. Patsy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Love having me.
You're looking amazing.
It is. And that's all we've got time for. We'll see you very soon. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.